Valentine's Day. It's lovely to have you watching this February 14th. I'm Carl Azus for CNN 10. Today's first story takes us to South Africa. There have been some big question marks hanging over the nation's government. Primarily, what will happen to President Jacob Zuma? The 75-year-old became leader of the Parliamentary Republic after his political party won elections in 2009. But that party, the African National Congress, has demanded that President Zuma resign. And on Tuesday, he refused to go. Since he took power, Zuma's government has been involved in a number of scandals. President Zuma himself has been accused hundreds of times of corruption because of a weapons deal dating back to the 1990s. He denies all of the accusations. And he's remained in power despite several attempts from opposition political parties to remove him. But in recent years, his African National Congress party has been losing support in South Africa. And in December, it chose another politician to lead it. A party official said yesterday that President Zuma had agreed to step down as president, but he wanted to stay for several more months to oversee the transition to a new government. The African National Congress said no. There's no constitutional requirement for President Zuma to give in to his party's demand that he leave. South Africa's parliament can force him out of power before his term ends next year, but the African National Congress would have to team up with opposition parties in the vote. It's reluctant to do that. President Zuma was expected to give a news conference on Wednesday morning that could answer what happens next. 10-second trivia. Which of these countries is located on the island of Hispaniola? Aruba, Dominica, Haiti, or Majorca? The island of Hispaniola is shared by the Dominican Republic and the nation of Haiti. A form of human trafficking, illegally taking advantage of people, transporting them, or forcing them to work, has been uncovered in some of the orphanages of Haiti. This is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Its average literacy rate is around 60%. Less than 40% of the population has electricity, and a devastating earthquake that struck the island nation in 2010 left survivors even more vulnerable. Our next report is part of CNN's Freedom Project, which aims to shed light on and help eradicate modern-day slavery.
12-year-old Sondi celebrates every day of his freedom. He's a survivor of a little-known form of human trafficking that is widespread in Haiti, trafficking to orphanages. When I was in the orphanage, the man beat us. My hands were swollen, he says. I didn't like it there at all. Sondi's nightmare began in 2010 when his family lost their home in Haiti's devastating earthquake. They were still living in a shelter 4 years later when his father died. His mother says she was left struggling to provide for Sondi and his two younger brothers. That's when a so-called child finder offered free food, shelter, and a better life for her children in an orphanage. I thought it was a good place, she says. He told me he would put them in school. They were lies. Sondi and his brothers lived there for 2 years before it was cited as one of the worst orphanages in the country and shut down by the government agency that oversees Haiti's orphanages. I thought they were living well, she says, and yet they were living under horrible conditions. It is common in Haiti for parents who can't afford to care for their children to place them in institutions. There are an estimated 30,000 children in orphanages in Haiti, and most of them are not actually orphans.
More than 80% of the children in orphanages in Haiti have at least one living parent.
Georgette Mulher is executive director of Lumos, a non-profit that works alongside the Haitian government to investigate abuse in the country's orphanages. She says many of them are trafficking in children.
Entrepreneurial people have seen an opportunity. They have seen that foreign volunteers and donors love to give to orphanages and love to volunteer in orphanages. So they pay people called child finders who go out into the community and essentially put pressure on parents to give them their children.
The government created an anti-trafficking committee in 2015 to fight human trafficking in Haiti. Committee leaders acknowledge trafficking to orphanages is a big part of the problem, and they rely on support from non-profits like Lumos. When Sondi's orphanage was shut down in 2016, Lumos helped reunite the children with their parents. A year later, Mulher went back to visit the site.
So the first time that we walked into this place last year, it was one of the worst that I'd ever seen. There were 41 children in here and not one adult. They were emaciated. Many of them were naked.
Mulher wanted to make sure it was not back in business. She was surprised to find the owner, Jonathan Vernet, still living on the premises. He invited CNN's crew in and spoke candidly about the closure of his orphanage. He admitted that he hit the children with a whip.
And 1, 2, oh.
But he says it was discipline, not abuse.
This is basically the toilets.
He also agreed the conditions in his orphanage were bad, but he blames American donors who came to visit the children and brought small amounts of food and water, but didn't offer sustained financial support. He even acknowledged lying to parents, but says it was all part of the game.
I'm not going to give them sweet talking. Okay, Mr. Venet, my kids going to school? Yes. My kid, yes. They lied to me too. I have to lie too. They lied to me. No father? No. I'm not the mother. They're not my kids. They lie to me. I take them.
I see.
They lie to me too. I lie to them.
If you lie to parents in order to bring a child into an orphanage, okay? And if you then get some money or help or goods from foreigners, okay? According to international law and according to Haitian law, that is trafficking. You have trafficked those children.
Yeah, I know it's not same like the way you say it.
Vernet doesn't see it that way at all, and Haiti's anti-trafficking officials say his response is very common.
Some people don't even realize that they're committing a crime, so we have a vigorous campaign of awareness to start to change attitudes.
He says the practice is so normalised, oftentimes the traffickers don't know they're traffickers, and the victims don't know they're victims. But Sondi knows that what happened to him was wrong. When I'm with my mum, I have everything, he says. When I was in the orphanage, I didn't have anything. Today, Sondi is back in school. He dreams of a bright future as a school teacher so he can be a mentor to younger children.
Every time a woman gives birth in America, there's a 1 in 30 chance she'll have twins. But mathematically speaking, at New Trier High School in Illinois, the ratio of twins to the student body is 1 out of 10. There are 44 sets of twins here and 1 set of triplets. That's 91 students, and the kicker is they're all sophomores. That's a Guinness World Record. It's actually 2. 1 for the most twins and 1 for the most multiples in the same class. So that's like a twin record. It's twice as amazing. And we're glad someone realized they could be counted on, by twos of course, to set a pair of records. The twins, like the records, aren't all identical, but who knows, maybe the record will be for eternal. I'm Carl Jesus, and that's Twin out of 10.